yeah, I guess we can start going down the line with starting with Allfield. Are you there, Abby? Maybe not. Okay, we'll background to Allfield. What about Camilla?
That question again. That
Okay.
thing. That's the thing. This point, I would side with the NPC. I would them better than like party. So maybe later, like after the better side with the party. It's yeah.
I feel like their little fight in that cave with the troll has maybe been a bonding experience for most of them. Uh, Christo, are you there? What about Svenja?
That's a tricky question, I guess. It depends on what she would assess the damage to the party's interests to be. I mean, so serious injury or death, probably not. But given where she is right now, ask me when she's 19, she'd probably trust that the other people know things or can see things that she doesn't. So she'd probably side with the NPC, but that's a little bit dependent on what the downside for the party is.
Yeah, no, I suppose at this point you've only really got the framework of as this group of kids, but I think we can we can assume that you guys were friends by this point. Like you, that was not your first time hanging out, but this was the group that generally hangs out together. You were not the only children in Radovic, I will point out. Um, you were just that group that was hanging out together. What about Yormund? Is he feeling heroic yet?
I feel like Yeoman is pretty selfish fucker, so probably whoever offers the greatest, whichever side offers the greatest benefit to him. If it doesn't, to a reasonable degree, but let's put it that way.
Already scheming, I like it. What about me?
Uh, Good question. I think kill probably side with well, uh, considering you said we're most likely good friends already. I think my Mikhail would trust his blood and his friends, like his close friends, the most. So then again, it would really depend on the situation.
Yeah. And how about Gorm?
The gods will provide.
That's the kind of thinking I like to hear. Yeah.
Because it works really great in the other campaign.
I feel like the odd vibes are going to be quite different to anything we've played before. But we will see. What about Krishna?
Yeah, it's a very non-specific question, so it's kind of hard to say. I guess I'd say probably side with the party, but whatever makes her feel more heroic.
Nice. Okay, I'm glad we've got at least one hero in the party. Yeah, let us jump back in. Svenja, thank you very much for the that that
That's
Colonel, I do
that's
have a recap here, but I think would you like to give us the recaps as we're going on? Seeing as you are the Skald, I don't want to impose like every week making you do the week recap though. If you would like to actually keep writing these stories, it would be a great way to do it.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes. This is essentially Svenja on the way back trying to work out if they're going to be in trouble or we are going to be in trouble. Uh, Potentially, because going outside of the. Hang on a second. How do I put
Wait.
the
As
music off? Is it my music playing?
as the
Oh, God,
other
no
people
wonder.
come out of the cave, I like to say that Ursula is getting upset, but is relieved to see that Ulfhild is still alive. So she runs to hug her, uh, and uh, since she's upset, there's wind swirling around her and sparks snapping across her skin. He says, "Don't scare me like that again, Ulfhild."
Um, also, she'll like she'll kind of be like, when you're like frying bacon from the sparks, she's kind of like when it's like the oil splashes on you. But she'll like after a minute she'll give her a big hug with whatever strength she has left because I mean she almost died. She'll be like, "It was pretty cool though, right?"
Okay, so sorry, I was trying to deal with other music playing in the background here in my earphones. Okay, so the recap essentially, and this is a story that Svenja would try and tell at the feast that evening as part of her telling stories thing, is we were outside, going into the woods, playing, having a bit of a snowball fight, hunting some rabbits, and then there were some ravens that called us into a cave. We heard some noises towards the back and cautiously but curiously investigated. Found a little wolf puppy, which turned out to be a big wolf later on, but found a wolf puppy in a cage locked in, and we're looking around trying to free it when a big ass ice troll joined us and was not happy with what we did. Ulfil charged, the rest of us all hid, leaving her looking around with a sort of a what the fuck face. And a bit of a tussle ensued. Ulfield threw stuff at it. We all tried to do a little bit of damage with whatever magic and cantrips we had. Ulfid bit it in the finger, ended up in the troll's mouth, was essentially grabbed out of there by Svenja with a couple of lucky rolls and a bit of hand waving. So thank you for that one, Ian. Eventually, Jormund got the cage open, I think, with the help of Gorm. Mikkel went down. Camilla whacked Mikkel so hard that he went right back up again. And Ulfield's father joined us and helped. Between Ulfield and her father, essentially, they took down the troll. Sorry, Ulfield, I can't remember whether you threw a sort of a piece of bone shard or something at it, but I have in my mind this picture of an improvised javelin going through the troll's eye.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate. Yeah.
So the story that Svenja would tell that evening at the feast would make a lot of the humor part of it and a little bit less of the danger part. Because the other question is, what role would she play? She tends to be the one that gets people into trouble through her curiosity, and tries to avoid trouble by entertaining people so that they forget about what she'd actually done wrong. So that's kind of her thing. Get into trouble and sweet talk her way out of it is a little bit her thing right now. So that's my recap.
Cool. Well, then, if you guys would like to pick up back outside the cavern after having just defeated the troll and um, basically Ulfield's father trying to usher everyone out as quickly as possible. However, taking some bits of the troll with at least, as this is this is a hell of a kill that you guys got. We can pick back up there with Ursula and Ulfield, as I will move you back over onto that map. And yeah, there we go. should be working. Let me just put your tokens down as well. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're not standing up there with the others, you can move your tokens back up to the top
The
right
game
of the
is
map.
paused.
Sorry. So yeah, at this point, Phil, your father has practically carried you out of this cavern, as after you threw that javelin and took on the troll, that that surge of rage that was going through you sort of faded, and you are badly injured. That as much as the troll didn't manage to swallow you whole, it did manage to crunch into you quite a bit, and both you and Mikil are badly bloodied. So, what would you all like to do as you exit that cavern?
Well, I have the dog in my hands and I'm just running to the town healer because it's missing a leg.
All right. Yeah, you definitely. I don't have the token for the puppet, but you are absolutely able to carry it. You can give me an animal handling check, please, as the puppy sort of regains consciousness and seems to be just whining in your arm.
Not this again.
I seeing how what's called how badly Jomond handles the dog and just follows after him to ensure he doesn't accidentally like bashes his head on a rock by accident.
You see it
Quite
sort
the
of start
accident.
kicking, but it is too weak to actually get out of your arms, and then it rests its shoulder, its head sort of on your shoulder. Carmela, you can also give me an animal handling check, but Yormund, give me an athletics check to try and actually hold onto this thing. It's a low DC though; it's very hurt.
Watch it roll a nat one. Okay. Wait, shit.
No, that's cool. So, oh, you rolled another animal handling. That's
Yeah,
fine.
by accident.
That's all right. You do manage to hang on to it as Carmilla running behind you manages to calm the puppy a bit, and it realizes that you guys have helped it, and that you are still doing so. How about the rest of you up?
Gorm will help Mikhail back if he needs it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Mikila's just trying to like, limp back into the village.
Ursula will also help the kid.
Yeah, and he definitely looks like he needs it. As Mikil, this. You've got these 4 slash marks across your body. The one like is just too high to have disemboweled you. These are going to leave quite a scar, but yeah, you are currently sort of got your arms around Ursula and Gorm as you guys make your way out together. And Svenja, are you following along with them?
Also, Svenja will offer to carry Ulfhild's father's axe if he wants to carry her, because she wants to walk into town carrying this big ass dwarven axe. So that would be what she would offer, in case he needs a hand free kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will pick that up, still covered in the troll's blood, as he has got both arms around Ulfield and is running as fast as his little dwarven legs will carry him. And yeah, just trying to get back to town.
I'm wondering if she can actually lift it. She's not hellishly strong. But anyway, she's going to do her absolute best to swagger into town later. Probably no one there to see her, but that's the plan.
All right, you can give me an athletics check to try and get up. As yeah, it doesn't seem ridiculously big. It's actually not too bad a size for you. I'm not sure how old are you actually at this point.
She is 9, I
Okay, yeah, then it's not
Oh wow.
actually it's it's pretty nicely sized for you, and you manage to pick it up with surprising ease as you lift it, and as you kind of you realize that it's lighter than you thought. You hear a caw again from behind you as you notice that raven that was sitting outside um, the cavern. You notice it flap its wings and take off just as you've lifted the axe, um, and it flies off into the snow that is slowly falling now.
Oh damn! I was going to say. She looks up. So she was sort of whistle, sort of a little ditty tune at it, and wave, and then follow the rest because by now I guess she's fallen behind.
You can still see it for a while. I mean, it
Yeah.
eventually will get lost just in the clouds, um, but yeah, you will see it circle around, and you'll hear another call nearby as there is still. I'm not sure if you can actually see it because that may have been my bad. Can you see the raven on the left hand side of the map when you or could you when you were standing
Zoom out too far, possibly.
over there,
Yeah,
basically?
you can see. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just because last time I feel like I explained that one badly. Sorry, but yeah, you guys all start rushing your way back to town, and oh, I may have duplicated things.
I was gonna say as well, like, oh, my voice before I die. Also, like the whole time she's got like, even though she's like barely conscious, she's got the biggest grin on her face. She's very proud of herself for not actually dying, but also because she went unconscious. She woke up, thought she just killed the ice rock. She's like, "Woo, I did it!" That's all she's got in her head.
Yeah, and then realized that your limbs weren't all intact.
Yep.
It's yeah. Father looks very worried. You can see as he's running out, he like gives you this nod, like of acknowledgement, as he also is kind of shocked at what you've just done. We should now be able to see the staircase leading back to town, and
Your
everyone can.
staircase.
Oh shit.
Please
Yeah.
select what? Okay.
Okay, so who's
So many lines on the board.
Man, I sure do love being on the ground floor. I can hear everything fucking happening outside.
Easier to hit them if you throw something.
Destroy the child.
There is a window in the way.
I can see my
Window.
dad on here, but not me.
It doesn't open.
What's the point of the window?
Wind.
I see me. Never mind.
there? We go. Can you see?
Win.
Okay, so yeah, as you guys come running back in, so you come back in over the bridge. I have actually got the character sheets for your parents now. Oh no. Oh, did I just delete you all?
Yeah,
Or
the
is it
children are
doubled?
gone.
Bad. I didn't realize you'd ran all the way there already. Like,
I
oh,
can see
that's fun.
one pair.
We're quick.
Yeah. I'm still on the map.
Okay, sorry. Who did I delete?
Oh, Gildemand.
Oof.
And I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, who else did I delete you there, Ursula?
Yes.
add. That's a I know.
I
Still
live.
missing one. Wait, who's missing? Oh, okay, yeah. So you guys have definitely got the right idea as you come running around the corner. Uh, Gorm, it is your mother, right? I'm still
Yeah, it
remembering,
is.
but you will see the healer standing outside as she is just she seems to be wiping something off her hands as she sees you running towards her, and she'll step forward and Gorm, oh, what is the matter? And she sees the person that you guys are, the people that you guys are dragging behind, but by this point, Oldfield and Nerd have kind of fallen behind. You guys have all made it there before them. So what are you guys doing as you see her?
Just sort of like gawk at her and just like bring out my arms a little to emphasize the dog missing a leg.
We killed the troll.
You killed a. Well, okay, it's inside. Not and you'll just hear this the dwarf shouting from behind. We need your help, quickly, please! And he will just sort of rush straight past her and into the hut with you, Ulfil.
Cool.
As at this point you will now see Svenja, you'll kind of see some people um, from the Jarl's longhouse up there that have heard the commotion and are starting to make their way outside to see what's going on. But yeah, not everyone basically goes into the healer's hut over there of the NPCs. Ingrid will follow in there.
So I'm wondering if she would, because she wants to hold on to the axe as long as possible, so she'll go and fetch Ulfield's and Mikkel's parents, mom, and just kind of spread the word that says Ulfield and her dad killed a troll. So let's see how many of the parents we can get together at the healer's hut. But certainly Mikkel and Ulfield's moms. And sorry, I don't know, Mikkel, if you have a dad.
I do. He's the blacksmith.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you can make a performance check for me, please, or a persuasion check, either or.
I am going to go with persuasion, actually. '21.
Okay, 21. Yeah, you definitely get the news out, and a crowd starts to gather um, around the longhouse as everyone is coming in and making their way to the sky tree to try and find out what's going on. You'll see that your mother is among them as she's asking, what do you mean by killing a troll? What trolls? There should be no trolls anywhere near here.
So I guess adrenaline rush. You'd sort of in the cave, in the hunter's cave, and there was a wolf. And look, I've got the troll's horn. And she'll sort of show the. Is it a horn tusk that she sort of chopped off? Um, so in a very incoherent 9-year-old way, eventually most of the details would spin out. She needs to prepare the story better before actually telling it.
Yeah. So with the 21, you'll see that you just on your first draft, you seem to be getting the message across, and a couple of the people that have come around to see, they are they are quite enthralled by this, and some of them they start whispering amongst themselves as to the legend of what has just happened. But you will also see the rest of the kids' parents starting to make their way in as well, and yeah, quickly looking for their children.
Korm will rush in the hut and help his mother. He knows what he's doing. Don't worry about it.
You can actually, you will be able to assist her, and you can give me a medicine check with advantage, even though technically she's the one.
And give her the mud. It's fine. Yeah, see, 8. Nice.
All right. You are giving her advantage on her wisdom, I mean, her medicine as well. So let's see. Oh, no, that's gonna be right. Let me- I'll roll it again so you can. So she got a 27 on medicine, and is with with your help, Gorm, she is able to she like clears some stuff off of a table, and you see Nud lies all filled down on the table, um, right next to the wolf that is currently bleeding profusely, but she will immediately cast a spell on each of you. She will start with Oldfield and cast a cure wounds. As she starts casting the spell, the rest of you will sort of help Mikil into the room, just limping, and uh, yeah, she will turn her attention there, as she's going to basically all of you this cure wound spell, all three of you, and okay, nice. So that is 37 points of healing um the between Oldfield's Mikil and the wolf, which should bring you all actually back up to full health, I think, because you've only got like 5 hit points each or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So as you are restored, you will see her just bringing out all sorts of strange little potions and things, and Nerd just sort of falls back against the door, and he's just panting heavily, and he goes, "My daughter, she killed us, just right through the head," and he's like still reeling from this. What are you guys doing in there?
Just ripping apart some clothes to wrap around the dog.
I'm just happy to be alive.
Phil's like already filling in the healer of like the story. She's like, and then we were like this. I was in his mouth, and it was like it was gonna swallow me, but then I was pulled out, and then I like threw a thing in it. It was like coolest thing ever. I mean, I'm basically a god. Thanks, Thor, my guy. She's like proper. She's just hyping it up. Not a very good storyteller though. She's just more excited than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's like listening to you as she's busy just trying to cover all of these wounds with that same foul smelling mud as before, but you can see there's a smile on her face as she goes, "It sounds like you were very brave. They will, I'm sure, call you Troll Slayer or something from now on. Huh? Oldfield the Troll Slayer."
Immediately turns to her dad. She's like, Dad, did you hear they're gonna call me a troll slayer? She's like so excited right now.
Meanwhile, outside, the Jarl will have come out to join this crowd, and he sort of walks up to your mother and to you, Svenja, as he just walks in and goes, "What is this? I heard your children were attacked. What happened? Are you okay?" And I mean, you don't have to give him the whole spiel again. We can assume that you do. But what what are you doing when the Jarl approaches?
Yeah, so she will take Nut's axe and like she's sometimes seen him do. It's like hold it by the hilt and just put the head on the ground, sort of lightly stamp it. And the story is becoming more and more rehearsed now. She's telling it over and over, and it's becoming a tale. So tell him the story and about the bravery and the fun things, and show him the tusk. And this is where she gets her epic poem one day. She's practicing the rhymes and the lines now.
Yeah, nice. So as you are regaling the Jarl with this tale, the Ingrid will have finished healing with the help of magic. It doesn't it doesn't take all that long, and you guys will be feeling fit and fresh. Anyone that needs anything else would any healing would be able to get it here, but uh, Ingrid does say we must go and tell the Jarl what has happened, and
The dog.
oh yeah, that the dog also got the healing, by the way. So
Oh.
this dog, its leg does not grow back. It has now got a stump there, um, but it seems quite like quite acid at this point. Like it is not, it is wounded, and you guys are taking care of it. So actually, this dog, I mean this wolf. Are you guys? Would you guys like to try and keep this wolf?
Steve.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Another bending, Steve.
Steve. I don't know about Steve.
So this is actually this is probably a good time to ask. So if we are going to have a companion animal like this in the party, we're not going to do sidekicks like we've done in some other games because eventually they're like stronger than the characters. It's ridiculous. But I do have a companion system that I would like to use to give this whatever you manage to catch a bit of oomph. The main thing will be that one of you is going to control it. You can pass him around, and we can take turns being the controller. But someone is going to have to look after Steve, and Ingrid is now going to say this to you all, going, "Well, if you want to kill him, I mean, if you don't, don't kill him. If you want
And
to keep him, I'm sorry. You killed a troll. You're a child. It's very big news. But if you would like to keep this wolf, then one of you is going to have to look after it and feed it and keep it with you and teach it to walk again. We can maybe find
I could do
some
that.
magical way of doing that.
Just
Okay?
blitz.
Anyone else interested? I'm sorry, my boy, you are Yormut, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not your mother. No. Awesome.
You would have known if he'd given birth, Jim. He's a big boy.
Uh,
So Swinya's
So, um, so yeah, Yormut, are you going to? I mean, this will be a party animal, but one of you is going to have to be the keeper. So, is everyone cool with Yormut taking care of it? Any objections?
Yeah,
Yep.
happy.
Yeah.
just like throughout all of this, I'm just holding the pup still and just kind of brushing through its hair.
All right. Yeah. So you have basically now got wolf pup, a three-legged wolf pup companion, which will I'll make a little stat block for it, um, probably by next session or maybe during a little break. For now, you guys all have been healed up, and uh, Ingrid and Nerd will try and go and basically tell Allfield's mother that she's okay and try and calm the rest of your parents. So they are making their way out just as Svenja is telling the Jarl what has happened, and yeah, can you just describe what you are doing as you approach this crowd of most of the townsfolk, most of your parents out here to see what the hell's going on? You will also overhear Svenja, and Svenja, you will see now for the first time that Mikil and Ulfild no longer look like they're about to kill over. They are both like they. You'll see across Mikil's clothes are completely torn, and there is definitely scarring under there. As Ulfield's face looks pretty bad as well. Like despite the smile from ear to ear. But what are you guys doing as you approach the crowd?
Oh, I must tell you, I'm so tempted for her to just sort of do this gesture of, yeah, with the two hands, as you say, I present Ulfield the Troll Slayer. I think that's the temptation is big. I think she'll do that.
Yeah.
Feels flexing as she walks in. She's like, ugh, yeah. Like, as she walks in, she's doing like a big pompous, chest posted out. She kind of trips halfway, try to brush off, maintain pressure. She'll go, thank you. As she like joins the rest.
There is a moment of silence, but uh, they immediately, like after just a few seconds, they start cheering, and Nut is going to come and just grab you and put you onto his shoulders, which doesn't really give you that much more height, but it just like chanting uh, as everyone starts celebrating, and they're all just clapping. Although you can see there are some concerned faces in the crowd. You see, in particular, like standing by the well, you will see another child that no one has actually. I don't think any of you have actually met. Uh, or no, you would have met. He was not invited with you, and you see the Jarl's son that is just standing there, like glaring at you, Allfield, as your father is just cheering underneath you.
Just drop him a wink. Yeah.
Jarl will approach the two of you and say, Orfield, Troll Slayer, really, that's got a nice ring to it. Well, everyone, look upon this. And you'll just hear Nut sort of take over and just start singing your praises as um, he just walks straight past the Jarl and continues chanting as the Jarl just stands there sort of speechless. What is everyone doing?
Keelan is gonna look down on his chest and just realize, oh shit, I could have died there. And just say a small prayer to Yolfal, thanking him for letting him fight another day.
All right, you can actually give me a religion check with advantage, please.
Okay. Religion. 14.
Okay, yeah. You as you say this prayer of thanks, you will hear in the snow just crunching up behind you. Um, you you'll sort of hear him approaching and just look over as you see your father. I'm walking to the wrong child, of course. No, wait, you're not my son, shit. Uh, as he just walks up and clasps this massive hand on your back, and he just goes, "You okay, boy?"
Yeah, I'm okay, father. I do think I'll leave a scar as I just look down and, like, I guess show my, this 4 slashes.
He'll sort of kneel down in the snow and say, "The troll did this to you. That is An impressive scar if ever I see one. And he seems quite proud of this.
I know, right? It's gonna make me look so cool.
Well, you know what we say. In order for the metal to become strong, it must first be bent. Oh, and he's just like, you see he's grimacing as he's like really realizing how close you came to just being sliced in half. And he goes, yes. And he will see the tusk that you managed to break off of the troll skull. Will say that you managed to do that little harvest with the help of the hunter on the way here. But he'll kind of look at that and you've brought materials as well. I am proud of you today, my boy. And you see he's just beaming.
Yes, I go in for a hug.
We will fashion it into something fine. And he just looks around as now the rest of your parents are basically all here, except for yours, Camilla. As you can see, your mother is standing on the balcony of your house, which you can see when you climb up onto those rocks, and she seems to just be watching like quite closely. But when she sees you, she just turns. As you wave to her, she just turns and she walks back into the house without a word. And you are sort of left standing staring at her from the top of the rock, as you can hear celebrations going on at the bottom, and you hear chanting.
Yeah. So that roll was to see if Svenja notices, but at an 8, I don't think she does.
No, there's at this point, Svenja, you don't notice that, as everyone around you is quite like getting quite boisterous, and you can Nut has sort of walked up to his wife, Ulfild's mother, and the two of them are now kind of just gushing over you, Ulfild, as your mother is standing with them, Svenja, and is going to come over to kind of make sure that you're doing okay, and just checking in as you all stand here in the shadow of the sky tree. Ulfild is officially named Troll Slayer, and uh, yeah, this is basically the beginning of all of your legend. As you stand beneath the tree that your parents have told you so many times is, in fact, grown from a seed of Yggdrasil, and they now repeat the story to you as you are standing underneath it now. In celebration, they will um, they will tell you how this tree will supposedly one day grow all the way up into the sky, perhaps one day even reaching all the way to Asgard. As these celebrations continue, they will eventually start to move things into the great hall, where a feast will be had, and the hunters catch those rabbits that you caught, and anyone who is willing to eat troll steak will be feasting tonight. Is there anything else you guys want to do here in this celebration?
Can I try help
Uh,
with the cooking?
Yeah, definitely. You can. I mean, I don't think there's a role associated with that at the moment. But you can definitely help with the cooking, as uh, there's something particular you wanted to try and make.
I think
Dog
Svenja would
treats
just.
from
Oh,
the
sorry.
troll meat.
Yeah, that's perfect. So we'll basically say that at the moment, you guys you guys can describe to me the montage as we are now going to sort of move into the time jump over the next couple of years, and as the winters pass, starting from that moment, what would you guys do? What would you guys like to show?
I think.
Should we go one at a time?
Oh, that
Yeah.
probably makes sense. Yeah.
We can go on the line as it's in Discord, so we can start with you there, Alfred.
Okay, so guys, I'm just going to quickly switch back over to main electricity, but I can hear you, so keep talking, but I am going to be a step away from the keyboard for a moment.
No worries.
Nice. Okay. So, Ulfield, I think will get more. Even though she's very proud of it at like age 12, I think she's gonna get even more reckless as she grows up. I think she'll have that kind of adrenaline kind of addiction where like her dad's always kind of running after her and trying to stop her getting herself killed. Because she's determined to keep going at things barehanded, and that'll be how she gets all the scars and this, she loses vision in the one eye and stuff like that. And loses like part of her ear from like fighting with a bear or something. But I think even though she's got this like desire to do really well, I think as her parents are in a difficult place, I think she will, and the rumors kind of get worse about her. She'll probably get more reserved, become more of a silent, threat. They'll be like, "Oh, I'll fill the troll sayer," but she just looks like dirty looks to whoever messes with her. She's not as happy as she was, I think. Wait, this isn't just for the feast. This was over many years, right? Because
Yeah, no, that absolutely is. We there's definitely been one or two battles with the bear over those years. And what about? Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to put everyone down on the next map as we transition. Camilla, what takes place for you over the next? We'll say at the moment, like about it'll probably be about 8 years. Um, as the over the next 8 winters, what happens to Camilla?
Camilla, after like Eli, like basically are like kind of taking an oath never to use a short bow again, and is starting to train with a longbow because that gotta be better. That so while she was previously like considering like focusing mainly on like the bow, she's now training to striking with the weapons quickly and then getting away, so she doesn't end up like troll food, and then like picking up some like trying to learn like how to attract ravens. I think that would be what she.
Yeah, definitely spending some time in the woods, doing some hunting. Svenja, are you back?
Yes, she is. I think the stories around the ravens, she'd kind of, as a child wasn't sure about that, but that makes her really curious about Odin and the lore around it. So she will try and find out as much as she can. But one of the things that she really loves doing is when there are traders coming through the market, she would quite happily duck work and sit and talk to anybody that is willing to tell her anything that they can tell her. So she's like hyper curious about anything and learning about the world outside the village. So she's building up a collection of stories and songs and poems and things. And yeah, I'm wondering if sometimes she feels a little bit guilty about what the name has done to Ilfield. So she'll sort of keep a special eye out for her and try and help her stay out of trouble. Although, having said that, half the time I believe that they get into trouble is because Svenja was curious and kind of bent the rules about where they're supposed to go, not a little bit. Uh, so that's kind of a curious, get into trouble, keep Ulfield out of trouble, listen to stories. That's what she would spend most of her time doing. And yeah, so she would desperately want to learn how to fight with a battle axe, but her body just doesn't do well. So she would probably focus more on learning how to use a spear from her mother. She never seems to particularly master it with a shield. But yeah, that's kind of her battle training, if you want to, that she focuses on.
Yeah, I would say there probably would be some actual like training like training montages as well of you guys, um mostly led by I think probably Yorman's mother. It's,
Yeah.
oh dear, right? So that you would all have some training with Odir, and you would meet. There are some other children in the village that you would end up competing with a little bit. You would meet the Jarl's son, and these two sort of thuggish kids that always hang around with him. These twins, but you would also meet, because who's we'll get to that in a second, Mikhail. But Yormund, um, as your mother would also be giving some training over these years, what would happen for you?
Roman's montage would probably be split up to like three little pieces. Of course, training, and more training, given he's a fighter. But also, uh, just taking care of the dog as it eventually grows into a wolf. And maybe along the time, Yoiman approached a blacksmith and saw to it that the dog gets a prosthetic leg. And lastly, Yoiman just personally taking on a lot of responsibility on himself, just taking on jobs, saying, "Oh yeah, I could do this, I can do that." No, don't worry, and just all around the town, trying to be a helping hand any way he can. That's really all it'll be.
Yeah, no, that is perfect. Sorry, my it's frozen up. But
Good.
Mikhail, uh, how about you? As maybe you'd like to describe some of the forging process.
Well, yes, I am a blacksmith, so Mikhail will be spending most of these 8 years training and perfecting his art. During this time, he will also use the tusk that he scavenged from the ice troll to craft a CX from himself and a hammer, because he thinks that a troll slayer should have a weapon worthy of the title. Uh, did you add the +1 to attack and damage from the?
I did add that one.
Okay. So how do I send it? Oh, there. Send to player. Where's Oldfield? There you go. Just wait the
Cool.
name.
The one show up.
Right. I'm not sure how that works.
I think I got it.
Cool. And
Wait, did you send that through Foundry?
yeah.
That's straight.
Oh, okay. So I thought it hadn't shown up on Foundry.
It's showed up in the container or the backpack, and they can just drag it out. Now, if you press middle mouse
Oh,
button on the backpack, you can see the content, and then you can just drag and drop
oh,
shit out.
that was I probably just had it collapse. So yeah, while those years that you were working at the blacksmith, there will be um, another boy that you come to know who also comes to work and help in the blacksmith sometimes. Though we will get into that when my fucking machine stops freezing. Um, as yeah, you spend your years perfecting your craft, honing it to create some beautiful weaponry. Is there anything else that happens over those years for Minka?
Oh, I think that's it. I think the troll ice shore incident has left him, well, for those years in particular, quite not fond of going outside the village. So he'd rather stick in, craft and trying to overcome this trauma.
Before we go on to Gorm, Yormund, what is the name of the wolf?
I think over time I'd probably call him Shepherd. Shepherd.
Cool. And then Gorm, how about you?
Yeah, Gorm is a man of many talents. In the mornings, he helped his father with boat building and testing when needed. During the noon, would help his mother at the healer's hut. Then I assume there will be normal training with the rest, and then in the evening he would go to the hall and help with the cooking. That will be most of the things he does.
And Ursula, what happened for you over the next couple of years?
So she wants to learn to sail, but her mother believes it's bad luck and tries to get her not to, and teaches her how to cut stone, trying to get her settled down doing a trade like C does. But they compromise, and letting her learn more about nature, and she hopes that learning that will help her if she ever does become a sailor. She also, of course, learns some basic weapon training and practices her magic. I think that's about it.
Yeah, perfect. As you guys now we rejoin you at 8. I mean, I did say it was going to be 10, so we can we'll stick with 10. Um, as 10 winters go by, and you you all find yourselves here again at the start of winter, all sort of having a little reunion, if you will, as soon it'll be time for the feast in the long hall, and it has been now exactly 10 years since the fight with the troll. And I will actually make that work in a minute. Yeah, what would you guys like to do as you all reconvene after 10 whole years and to a town that has developed somewhat? There are new people that have moved in across near where you were staying, Gorm, that you are not the only people on that side of the river anymore. There are some farms that have cropped up. There's a wall that was built to prevent, well, to defend against raids some years ago that I'm sure some of you had some hand in building. Yeah, there have been quite a few advancements over the years, and we rejoin you now under a much taller sky tree, as is once again one of the only green things left. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna
Sort
climb
of,
up and sit in the tree.
sort of walk up to it in the same, and I just. Do you think this thing will ever stop growing?
The legends are true. No, but who knows what the future holds?
Actually, you can give me an athletics check to try and climb up there. I mean, it's it's fairly easy to climb, especially seeing as you you are rather light on your feet. With a 14, you are easily able to sort of almost float your way up there. Um, you will get some funny looks as this is quite a sacred tree. But hey, you guys are young, you know, and you will also see the wolf has grown rather large and intimidating. One of its legs at this point, what kind of a prosthetic do you think you would have gotten? Would you have gotten like a magical one, or is, is this wolf got a peg leg?
I feel like it would be a mix. It wouldn't be magical, but it would be a pretty intricate, like metal leg that could actually bend uh, along where its knee would have been.
So an actual mechanical leg, so just
Yes,
prosthetic.
Would metal
not
hurt them
not
since
like
it's so bulky?
a blunt wood just peg. Nah, just
Yeah, so I mean, I, Ormond seems quite fond of his like quite heavy armor. So I think would you and Mikil maybe have come up with something
oh
together,
yeah.
like make some metal armor?
Uh, yeah, I imagine Mikkel and I would have
Hmm.
become very good friends.
Yes. Still need to make that aerodynamic boot.
Yes, well, I think we have more pressing. We have bigger jobs to do till then.
Maybe so.
Speaking of which, you never told me what you did with that tusk you got.
Oh, I used it for crafting.
So what? It's just gone now. It's not.
Well, no, I still have some, but I used most of it for the Troll's Bane hammer that I gave to Ulfield, and then I'll pick and take out my CX, and then the small CX for myself.
Huh. I thought it would have looked better as a hilt or something, but you're the blacksmith.
Well, the handle is. Hang on, can I show the description? How do I do this? Info. Yeah, the handle is made of the tusk.
Huh. Actually, it's reminded me of something.
What's up?
Give me a second, would you?
Hey.
And I'll just kind of like walk back home. Just Shepard, stay with Mikkel. And yeah, I just like to make my way back home to speak to father about some things.
All right, and so your father is a merchant, right? He works
Yes.
in the market. So at this time of day, it would be getting towards the end of his day. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, he will be there at work. You'll see him just busy sorting through some things. Just it seems like he's had a pretty slow day of business so far, but he sees you approaching and just gives a warm smile. He seems quite at the moment. What would you like to do as you approach?
Just like, hey, Pop, need a hand?
Yes, thank you, Yeomans. Come, those boxes over there, if you could just put them behind the shelves. You'll see there's a new shipment that seems to have just come in of various like staples. The market here has gotten quite a bit bigger over the years, but it seems like some things have just been taken to the Great Hall to be cooked, and he needs to put those things away. You can give me an athletics check as well to try and help him out.
Please. Ah!
Yeah, so these boxes are heavy as hell. As you are kind of I mean, you are able to move them. They're not immovable, but you are sweating after just bringing two or three back and forth. Yet during this time, you can speak with your father. Was there something you wanted to ask?
Yeah. You've told me stories about your travels, aye?
Oh, yes. What do you mean, giants?
Hmm. You've learned. Are you ever gonna teach me
What?
something about these runes you learned?
Well, what do you want to know? I thought I taught you a little at least. Ah,
How do
I mean,
use
only
them?
giants really know, but there are some things I could help you with. What is the problem, my boy?
You just teach me how to read and write them, but I want to actually use them as magic.
Magic is complicated. You, some people have a better way with it than others, but you could go and visit the sailor. I see no reason why they could not help you, or ask the blacksmith. He is able to enchant some of these things. Maybe your friend Mikil even knows some things.
You're the one who knows the giant's runes the best.
These runes are dangerous, Yeoman. You cannot just adding them wherever you like. These are sacred things, and people knew that you were messing with frost giant runes. I-
Come on.
all right, here. Let me see if and he will go and start rummaging around. Um, he will say, "Here, this is something that perhaps it can help you if you can understand its properties, and the spells will come." And he is going to give you a potion um, that you see as this strange swirling green liquid, and on the stopper it has got multiple little runes etched into it. He will give you that and a small scroll, and say, "Look, I will talk to you about this more tonight. I must finish things up here, but study these and maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll figure out magic, huh?"
Just slowly nod and finish moving the boxes.
By the way, you said my mom gave me a runestone last session. Do I still have that? Does it do anything?
Yeah, it. Luckily for you, it didn't trigger you. You would know that that has got the rune for life on it, but it is something that your mother has always told you to keep with you and to keep safe. But to this point, you wouldn't know what it actually does. It's just like it could just be a lucky rock, or it may have some actual magical effect, but you've never seen its magic.
Okay.
You can make an Arcana check to see if you've figured that out over the years, but someone like Yormont would probably be able to help you with that if they understand any giant or runes.
That one.
Yeah. As far as you know, just a lucky rock. But your mom seems really obsessed with not losing. Um, it, you know that it would be quite difficult to actually make such a nice smooth stone. Like this is fine craftsmanship for a stone cutter, so it might just be a nice piece of jewelry.
So, can I mean, has Svenja ever seen it? Because she happens to speak giant. And yes, I can justify that. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
as
that's up to Svenja. I mean, that's up to Ursula. Would you have
Sir, you could
ever?
have seen it. Yeah, you could have seen it.
Okay, so what do I
So,
also do Arcana?
so Svenja, you would have. You can make an Arcana to try and see if it had any magical properties, but the rune would just read life. Um, yeah, you may have come to the conclusion that if something were to happen to Ursula while she had this on her, uh, that stone may be able to help. Like it may, you're not entirely sure. It's kind of a guess, but you think that if you were perhaps killed, that stone may actually stop you from dying completely. But that's more of a guess than anything. That's what a life rune is able to do, but they're not very common.
Okay, no, so keep it with you.
But rune stones are quite a common thing to get, though they are expensive. They are there are not many people that are able to create them. Though people like your mother Ursula and um, Yorman's father are probably the people to speak to about rune stones in this town. Like I think your mother can make them, and the Algon Yorman's father sells them.
I guess I would have asked my mother at some point why she seems so um, obsessed with the rock.
Yeah, she would just reiterate, "You must keep it with you always, and make sure you never lose it. It will keep you safe."
Okay, so this is serious. Yeah, again, Svenja, super curious about this, but she would love to try and pick Jormung's father's brains and Ursula's mother's brains about this. So whenever she can sneak away from doing her weaving, she would sort of prod them to try and teach her a little bit about that. Big bother, big cajole, so manipulate, whatever needs to be done.
I feel like Yeoman would smack you over the head if he caught you doing that, just because I'm already bothering my father enough about it.
Yeah, but I'm nice.
Yeah, but he's my dad. Fuck off.
Yeah, you get the impression that's part of his frustration. It's like, oh, all these kids, they all want to know about giant runes, and go ask the dwarves. Dwarves use runes too. Just, just use dwarvish runes. They're much simpler.
Okay, so I'm guessing Ursula says, just go and ask the giant runes guy. So she's getting passed to and fro, right? Oh man. Yeah, so I mean, Yorman's dad says, "Go and ask the dwarf. Dwarven runes are easier." And so she goes and asks Ursula's mom, and Ursula's mom says, "Go and ask the blacksmith. Giant runes
Yeah,
are so much easier."
pretty much. They used to sending you back and forth just to opposite ends of the market.
So one day I will come back and roll a nat 20 on my persuasion when I have a plus 17. Not today, though.
I mean, you will have picked up many stories over the years of doing this, but I will say any of the knowledge you have of runes or giant or things like that would would have come from partly these kinds of interactions and the things that you have managed to learn over the years. But one rune everyone knows is the one to build the bridge to the shipbuilders. Everyone has to use that, and it is a little more streamlined these days, because there are permanent runes etched into the wall of the watchtower. But yeah, so I'm not sure whose parents I haven't actually put down yet. You can assume they're either at work or in a building. But yeah, there's been plenty of drama throughout the years. Will be sorry, I'm just trying to see. Okay, I'll finish this. Who else would like to do something here? As um, Ursula is up a tree looking at the stone, and Yormund and Svenja, I think maybe have gone to go and speak to his dad at this point.
Yeah.
Fulfilled's kind of, she's been kind of standing there with a drink, like she's getting that kind of itch to like go somewhere. So she's gonna look for a way to kind of get out without her parents noticing.
Yeah, you will see that they are sort of in conversation. They seem to be in good spirits, but as you are all by the tree, you'll see that bridge looming, though they'll see you if you go out that way. Um, you do know that by this point, you guys are old enough to have started actually taking some jobs and going on some expeditions, and you know that your mother had just recently, um, as you were all standing around here, she would have been talking to you about how there have been all these rumors. Apparently, some lizards were seen, that some lizard folk were seen down at the old bandits encampment or the bandit hideout to the south. There are monsters in the forests up north, and she's trying to warn your father about them, but she seems to be complaining that there's a lot of work to be done around Broudevik, and that some expeditions need to be planned urgently. You overhear all of that, Oldfield, that there's a lot of work to be done, and it seems like good opportunities to get out of town.
Fulfilled will do a little. We'll do the voice. I'm gonna do it. Hold on. Right. I gotta figure out what an Irish accent sounds like. Uh, should I go? Well, if there's a lot of work to be done, then I suppose I should go to work. Fare thee well, mother, father. She'll do a little shitty little kitty, and she'll look to. I don't know who's around. Whoever's around, she'll do like kind of like the head thing with the eyebrows. She goes, "You coming?" And she'll yeah, she'll see if she can saunter off.
That next to the tree here.
Your
Feel
father
this.
will say,
Go on.
"It's a little late to be going out on an expedition now, lass. Don't you think you should plan first? You you know, it's always good to be prepared, as tough as you are."
Dad, plans are for numpties. Let's be honest, I can't do it. Fucking art. Plans are for numpties, and I think I've taken a troll down at age what 12. I think I'd be alright to handle some lizards. I mean, they're just little trolls, basically. So I'm not too worried.
He just rolls his eyes. Oh, right, you took on a troll when you're. Okay, I haven't heard that 1,000 times. You know, just because you killed one troll doesn't mean that you can take on all the dragons in the world or something. But you're right. Lizard's probably not going to be too much of a stretch. At least take your friends with you, huh?
She'll do like a little, ironic yes, Dad. 22, She'll like kick the snow a bit as she walks.
Your mother will step in and just give him a look, and he's like, "Oh, right, all right, fair enough, fair enough," and he'll just potter off by himself. Well, as she'll kind of look to you and just to wish you luck and say, just don't go too far in the dark. You might as well just leave in the morning. It is already nearly ready for the feast. But if you must, and she will sort of follow your father. But yeah, the rest of you are all standing, uh, overhearing this as Ulfilt is giving you the eyebrow raise to say, "We've got to get out of here." What are you all doing?
Sounds fun to me.
Mikkel is still waiting for Yorman to get back. He's just,
Yes, I'm on my
playing
way
with the
back.
dog. I guess Wolf.
Did it
Well,
give us a location?
I mean, there is a feast tonight, and there'll be singing and stories and drinking and feasting. So that'll be fun, right?
I'm just coming back out of
Then we
it.
can go in the
You
morning.
fuckers not moved an inch.
No.
How fun you guys are.
You know what sounds fun? Oh, that was very Lovecrafty. Do you know what sounds fun? Killing lizards. Do you know what does not sound fun? Is sitting there with my mum and my dad going, "Oh, have you seen my wee daughter? Isn't she so big and tall now?" And then 1,000 aunts and uncles going, "Oh yes, I remember you as a wee little baby." There's not my ideal type of night, if I'm honest. I'd rather kill some lizards, get some exercise in, and crash to the end of it.
How much intel did you get on this?
Songs.
How much more do you know than just killing lizards? Like, how many are we talking about?
Uh, to be honest, I didn't really ask. I just assumed lizards tiny. Even if there's 50, we just smash them down.
All right, fair enough. Well, you're the trolls there.
Yeah, but these
And
things
they
are
can't be that
different.
hard to kill. Like this weather, it's cold, and if they, then they're gonna be maybe a little bit, a
I'd pet the
little
doggy.
bit like stiff in the limbs. I
If anyone would like to give me a history check to see what the actual uh, job that Ulfilt is talking about entails, you would all have been familiar with a couple of things that need to get done.
Oh, 10.
Incredible.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Nico gets
Two
Holy
nat ones.
wow.
Two nat ones in hand 20 and a 1 or 2.
For some reason, I have to keep refreshing to see the rolls. Like every few minutes, I just don't see anything new in the chat.
someone go if something goes, and like maybe the browser is updated.
Yeah, that seems like a weird problem. I'm not sure why. there haven't been that many rolls. So yeah, Mikil, you would definitely know that there are a couple of jobs that need doing around town. There was you heard you overheard the ranger when he was coming to get his sword sharpened, basically because he had gotten into a bit of a scrap with the lizard folk that Orfield is speaking of. Apparently, they've been encroaching on the hunting territory, and yeah, one of the local rangers has been complaining about it to the southeast. And you know that there is a lizard folk village in like quite a ways away to the southeast that is probably where they are coming from, but you don't really know much else about them other than they are often in the forests around there, but they seem to be getting a bit bold. You also know that there have been reports of more than one kind of bandit around, that there are actually a lot of things you might want to investigate, and I'm going to bring you guys over to the area map. Sorry, I'm not as prepared as I would have liked to been tonight, but you should all be able to see this. Tell me if the vision is broken.
Like an old-timey movie, but with a map.
It's fun.
Oh,
And
it's
those
rain, and that's
projector
why.
flicker.
Okay.
That's right.
I think it's raining still.
No, the old timey movie is supposed to be the thing.
Okay, yeah, then it is.
But there should be a map underneath it. Are you guys not seeing the map?
No,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
seeing
seeing
the
I
that.
see
map.
Stonewall, Fungal Mass, Portal,
Okay, yeah.
Moonbridge.
Sorry, portal.
Yeah.
Yes. The cake is a lie.
So this is basically the map that you guys have with the local points of interest that have been. This has been mapped out by people before you, and basically the hunters share this information. You know, anyone that's coming and going. So these are the points of interest that you know of, and we are now going to go into basically your first expedition. I will actually pause the clock here because you're like leaving late afternoon. Um, as we are going to be using an expedition system, which I will explain in detail. I think another time because we we like we'll just we'll learn on the go here.
Okay.
So basically, how it starts is you are going to set your current waypoint, which I need to make a hardy marker. Let me do that quick. And you set where you are and then where you want to go. So, and then in between, we will have stretches. So basically, you plan out the expedition you're going to take first, and then I know what to prepare for, like maybe for the next session, or if it's a long journey, that'll make more sense because there'll be multiple waypoints, multiple places for you to stop. But it basically breaks up a travel encounter into waypoints and stretches. And at a waypoint, you can rest and get a full rest, and that's like a safe spot. Well, might not be if you're going into dangerous places, but that is basically where you're going to be resting. The stretches are where we are going to be traveling, and you may be rolling for random encounters. You may be having to cross certain kinds of terrain, that kind of thing. There will be challenges along the way, but you need to set out where those waypoints are, starting with your starting location and ending in your final destination, which is generally where the quest is leading you. I will. I'm gonna make markers. Of course, I haven't finished those yet either.
Primordial monoliths.
So yeah, I'll make the tokens in a second. Just maybe give me 5-10 minutes to get that done. But you guys can so long discuss what you actually want to be doing and where you want to try and go. Now that you can see the map, anywhere you want to explore, you would know that the bandit hideout that I mentioned is the area, the basic area where the lizard folk problem has been. Other than that, yeah, I think that was it. There was something else that Yormund knew about.
Monsters in the forest.
Yes, and that was reported. Yeah, they were talking about monsters in the trees. That I think they were talking about at the tree house, tree houses. They are apparently monsters living in the trees nearby. So, where would you guys like to go?
This, how do I make this purple block go away? Was it just on my screen?
No,
I can see it.
Is that our cone range?
Oh, that, number 3.
So if the
I'd,
quest
honest,
is... Hmm?
I'd honestly say tree. The monsters by the tree houses.
I think it makes
So
sense to go
then,
to Bandit Hideout.
the treehouse is 9 miles away, whereas the Bannet hideout is 13.
What was that?
Yeah,
The
I'm
tree
which one
houses?
is closer.
Monsters.
And also just be easier to fight them because chances are they're going to be more like, or more disorganized than bandits and lizard folk.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have to fight like 10 others.
Okay, yeah. What is the purple block? Who's
It's mine. I'm not entirely sure how to make it go away.
Oh,
Ah,
it's gone.
Button number 2.
just look in the top left-hand corner. There's usually a little icon, and you can just delete from it.
I should
So,
click on it and press delete it. Okay. Treehouse.
yeah.
Yeah, so I will
So,
say you don't know what you haven't heard anything about what monsters at the treehouse are. You just heard that there are monsters in the treehouse. The troll encounter that you guys had, I will also point out, was not a normal thing to happen. Like usually the hunters keep the forests around the town pretty clear, and especially of trolls. But that was a that was an unfortunate situation that you guys found yourselves in, and no one was ever quite able to figure out why there was a troll so close to town.
Well, this is the ravens that Svenya's of the view that that was some sort of thing coming from Odin, some sort of test or something. So that was why, in her mind, that's why the troll was there. It was something that Odin sent to test,
so we're
maybe
all
no.
agreeing to go to the treehouse?
The
Think so.
treehouse.
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
What is
That's
it? Sort of
8 or 9 miles.
Okay, so you are setting the treehouse as your final destination. So now you need to decide the path you're going to take to get there. So which way are you going to go from Bradavik? You can see the landmarks that are sort of on the way. You can
Bungle
use
map.
those to navigate, or
Yeah, that's probably the most logical direction.
but the
Although,
giant geoglyph is basically where you guys face the troll, and then that's the only place you've actually been to.
Do these rivers actually mean something? Because if they do, we might have to go down to Wooden Bridge and then Portal and then Treehouse.
Yeah, I mean, a river is a river. So if you come across a river, you're going to have to figure out a way to cross it, unless you go to a bridge, in which case it'll be pretty obvious.
Are
But
they frozen at this point, or is it not winter?
you're at the beginning of winter, so actually, let me see. Yeah, but it's the beginning of winter, so they are not completely frozen over. The smaller rivers might be, but those bigger rivers also don't usually freeze completely, as they are those are rather large, like constantly flowing rivers.
In that case, it'll be what? Wooden Bridge, yeah, Moon Bridge, Treehouse.
Yeah. Yeah, that works for me.
Sounds good.
Yeah, or as Camilla said, same old
Good.
Wooden Bridge, Moon Bridge, Forest Gate, Treehouse.
That is. That's a good half a day's travel, though.
Doesn't it make more
Right.
sense to do it in the morning?
Yes, because then we can go and listen to the stories and drink and sing with the feast.
You hear like very loud groaning from Oldfield. Hope to avoid all that.
Come on, Ophil, there'll be mead.
This is why Oldfield doesn't like planning.
Rather just run out, fight something, and avoid.
So you see, asking Svenja to give up on going to a feast is the same as asking Ulfield to not hit stuff. It's incredibly hard.
To be
Just
fair,
fight.
Oldfield, there are also some people that you will probably find in the feast hall that could provide some violent entertainment if you needed it. But yeah, as for like hunting and killing things, you might you might want to actually do that on the expedition. But the sun is getting low, and hiking through the snow at night is probably not the greatest idea, though it is totally up to you guys. You can see some people already going to the Great Hall to feast.
I think
Tell you
Oldfield
what,
sees
Oldfield.
logic. Ooh, okay. Offer, tell me.
After we eat, let's fight.
Yes. He gives him like a one of those like big firm like fucking handshakes and almost like shakes his whole body. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll definitely help you cause trouble, Ulfield, if a fight's what you want. The dark side of deception. And how hard can it be to get drunken Vikings to fight with each other?
Very.
Yes.
DC 5 persuasion roll.
So we all agree to move out tomorrow, yeah? Get drunk tonight, and then
Think so.
Yeah.
right. And we all agreed to go. Was it Wooden Bridge, Moon Bridge, and then Treehouse?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good. That also gives Svenja a chance to have a chat with her mother about the plan and what the Jarl would think about that. This is going to cause trouble with his son. She's sort of becoming aware and sensitive to the politics of living in the sort of a well-known-ish trade center.
All right. Well, there I am going to actually ask we can just take a 10-minute break because I have got the longhouse map. I messed up the scale, so I need to quickly fix it.
That's
Um,
cool.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Okay.
yeah,
sounds
so
good.
quick coffee break, and then I will be back. Sorry, I'm so unprepared tonight,
fine.
guys. It's really
You're doing
it's
fine.
been a week. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute with the proper maps.
If you didn't tell us, we wouldn't know. So stop telling us.
Yeah, but I'm feeling it. Like there should be quests and things. I've got so much stuff planned. I just didn't have enough time to actually do it, and I'm like,
It's getting
Is
there.
it?
Yeah, man, I feel the pain of, I think on
2:10.
average for the last week, we've had 9 to 10 hours of not electricity. It's been our life since last week, Friday. So, yeah, I feel the pain, Devin.
Yeah, really, it messes everything up. But yeah, I'll be right back. Is everybody back?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, I should unmute and then say yep.
Okay. Find the yarn, and then we'll start. Okay, so we will put you guys outside underneath the sky tree as the bell is rung and everyone is has started making their way into the great hall. You've discussed amongst yourselves perhaps going in search of the monsters in the trees next week, but I mean the next day. For now, it is time to drink and feast and be merry and yeah. What would you guys like to do as the sun is beginning to set?
Well, I suppose the first thing to do would be to head inside.
Yep.
So you guys should be able to see on what?
Are we chatting about how to draw freehand?
Yeah, who
I drew it and I
wrote
don't
in
know
the,
why it
in the
say
snow?
that. I don't know. Go on. How could you do this? I
You see
thought we were
someone has
friends.
written a
Can I
message in
not
key
move?
in the snow, and it's easy to
I
kick
don't
over. Okay. Also, remember how to delete your drawings once you have scribbled.
That's the one thing I don't know.
That's exactly what I'm trying to work out right now.
Oh, I found out. You use the split the square at the top, then just mark it.
Yeah, you just
Ah,
select it, and then you can use the delete key.
perfect.
I just realized I have got a like delete all drawings button. They give the GM a nuke everything, nuke all scribbles button.
Okay, a bit over time, but I'm back. Hi.
I'm back.
You shut.
Yeah, no worries. We're rejoining you all outside the longhouse uh, as the dinner bell is being rung. Yes, Mikhail.
That was a accent. Disregard.
You know, I long for the day someone actually uses that and means to. 'Cause I don't think anyone
Ooh.
will feel.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to
Yeah,
find the button. I don't know which one's the button.
I still can't find it.
What were we trying to do?
Move.
Oh,
Ow.
you know,
Ah.
I would. I would like to hit the target with an axe.
sure,
No.
me an attack roll.
Why am I not able to move?
Okay, I.
Click token controls and select token, I think.
You embed the axe in the wall of the longhouse, and you unfortunately miss. Your rolls today.
Are you cursed
My
or some
rolls
shit?
today and yesterday or last week. I'll try
Well-
again with my other hand axe. Okay.
So, Oldfield is not on the map for some reason.
I have had 2 nat ones.
You
can't
you
get out.
see this axe come soaring past your head as you make your way towards the cabin. Probably not a great place for the target practice, but it's an underdog story of Yormund at the moment.
Just grab the first one and just want to get the second.
There are times when it's nice to be a dwarf. This is one of them.
So is everyone going in? Svenja, you
Yep.
still-
Ah, there we go. I've remembered how to move myself.
Yeah, so if you are not able to move your token, just remember to check that you've got the little like silhouette of a person selected and the square next to that, because that is the most common mistake in Foundry.
Bloody hell, where's the door?
Right side.
There we go.
Yeah, so you will also see one of the things I haven't managed to to actually get up here is, but that is mounted on the wall, is the troll skull, missing its tusks because you guys have actually used those, but the troll skull is displayed quite prominently in this hall. It seems the Jarl is uh, quite proud of it actually. And as you walk into this hall, you can see there are quite a few people that have already come to sit at the tables, and the fires are going. There is a strong smell of some kind of a stew brewing. There is already, like, your feet are already sticky from the mead on the floor that has already been flowing now for a little bit, and you can see at a table on the opposite corner to where you guys are all sitting, you will see basically the other, well, people around your age. There's those with the other kids, one of them being the Jarl's son, who is the skinny looking one, who just glares at you all as you enter, and they seem to be all huddled up together having their own conversation, and they too have got a map sprawled out on the table. Seems like they're also planning an expedition, but in here is where you would be able to actually do that properly. That is, the welcome screen is meant to be sitting at a table in here, planning your next move. So, yes, everyone, Gorm, are you a little bit left out there?
Hang on. You can move.
There should be space for Zema. Yeah, you guys all, you all sit at the table. What do you guys do?
Drinking.
Just look up at the other table on the opposite side of the room, like,
So is this the old son
snivel
down
your
here?
brat.
Wave and look friendly to that other table.
Fulfilled seeing if she could take on the Jarl's son.
That fucking scrunt of a man glared at us the second we walked in. Fuck them.
Fulfilled will just make direct eye contact, just like staring him down. Like if he wants to stare at us, she'll stare back. See who gives up first.
Looks like even his bones would break in the wind. Such a tiny twig.
Just
Yeah, you
give him
see,
the finger.
as as at this point, horns of mead are served to all of you, or is one of you getting the mead?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
I still get me.
so-called free thinkers when
Alcohol.
So you will exchange some looks with this table as these guys are all also eyeing you out, and you see that he is sitting with another the other blacksmith's assistant that you would recognize, Mikhail, as well as what most of them just call them the twins. Their names are Orvar and Hjalmar, and they are two of the dumbest people in all of Bradovik, but they can fight. You may have sparred with them before, and Ulfield, as you're kind of sizing them up, you know that the Jarl's son, he's a scrawny bastard. He would not stand a chance against you. But those two that walk around with him, they would pose more of a problem. However, Inar, that works the forge with you, Mikil, you know him, and yeah, he's probably about as strong as you are. It would be an even match.
But who's better at smithing? That's all that counts.
Yeah, so this guy is one of the most impatient people that you know. He's constantly complaining that like he has no patience for the art of smithing, and he hates giants. He just wants to make giant slaying weapons, and it drives your father up the wall. But uh, yeah,
Right.
between the two of you, you are definitely the more dedicated smith.
So he's a tool, okay.
Run me their names again, please, if you don't mind.
So there is
Twins.
yeah, you'll get to know them. The twins
Beavis
are
and Butthead.
Orvar and Hjalmar. Yeah, I'll bring them all up back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't actually see the names of tokens when I hover
Just,
over
yeah,
the
one
front of it.
second. Oh, my macros are different on this game.
Oh my god, they look like Laurel and Hardy, don't they? One tall, skinny, and one fat, short. Shit.
That's exactly.
For
Yeah, these are the twins, Orvar and Hjalmar, and they're generally following around the Jarl's son, uh, Magnus.
Yum mum.
She's not very good
Uh,
at the
this
roasting.
is,
Hey, next
and
I
then
got
there's the blacksmith that do. So yeah, those are the other people around your kind of age and skill level in the town. Everyone else is like either parents or like you recognize the baker that they're either just commoners or your parents. Um, and yeah, everyone seems to be sitting down to eat whatever has been gathered by basically Nud and Victoria being um, Oldfield's father and Camilla's mother. Sorry, there's so many names. But you guys sit down, and it seems to be regular, jolly vibes here in the hall. What are you guys all doing? As you've got your mead horns ready to go. It does seem a little quiet. There is no music or anything at this point.
Fulfilled's getting drunk.
Just also drinking.
Wait, no music? That's not good. Nope.
Does anyone know how to play?
Yeah, guess we could do a couple of songs, get people a bit tipsy, and then do some, I don't know, storytelling if that's appropriate, or chant a few chants or sing a few songs. not quite the performance, but see if she can get the crowd to sing along. I don't know what the Viking equivalent is.
Yeah, you would know that the Jarl loves a good story, and um, it you would have had a couple of nights in here trying to captivate everyone with with a tale of some kind. You are actually maybe the only person that I finished the quest for. If you look in your quest log, you will see there's actually
Gal.
a challenge there for you. Um, well, everyone should have something in their quest log, but I will get those fixed by next session. The You can see the Jarl is kind of leaning on one hand, and his wife sitting in the chair next to him. She seems to be looking over everyone, more interested than he is for sure. He looks bored.
Hmm. So she would, let's say, earlier in the day when she was in the market trying to sell some of the weaving and the cloth stuff, struck up an interesting conversation with a far traveler that came from, let's say, the Far East. And she would be sharing that story about the strange mannerisms of the people in court where he came from. Just telling everybody about it, but in a sense, weaving characters and stories into it. So it's not just a, hey, this guy said we did this. Make almost the story of the jester and how he teased the king's lady about whatever it is, a strange habit of bathing every day or something like that.
All right, yeah, you
Not
can.
quite a saga or a poem, but this is what I heard today in the. I guess by now most people will either listen interested or roll their eyes. Oh God, not this again.
Yeah, well, let's see. Roll a performance for me.
Let me get my character sheet up again because it has this.
Is performance the? I mean, if there's a different skill you would like to use, if you've got a kind of build in mind, let me know. But I mean, performance makes sense.
This feels like performance because there's not a particular deception persuasion. There's no intention. This is pure entertainment. And the gods on my side on this one.
All right, yeah. So with the nat 20, you definitely um you captivate everyone with the story and of this traveler. You can see that the Jarl seems quite interested about stories of what is actually happening in the East, and he seems very much enthralled with this. As you will notice while you are telling your story, another person enter the tavern who just looks at you quite enviously as you have captured everyone's attention, Svenny. And you can see that he has got a drum around his side, and he just sort of scoffs as he hears your story, realizing he's not going to be able to one up you here, and he slinks over to the side to go and join the Jarl's son's table. And I will.
No, but hang on.
Oh,
That drum is one of her favorite instruments, so she would kind of, when she's finished with the story, what would she do? Actually, what she would ask, if I may interrupt him and say, I need you to do a rhythm. Let's, yeah, the equivalent of Viking rap. So do a sort of a basic drum beat and get people to stomp their glasses on the table towards the end of the story as she starts, just chanting it slightly more rhythmically rather than just speaking. How's that for a suggestion?
He will kind of actually give me a persuasion check on this one, as he seems at first quite kind of jealous that you've got the spotlight here. At your suggestion, he seems intrigued.
14.
He will say, "All right, how about we make a deal? You hit me in a round of flighting, and I will join you for all of your tales." And he will challenge you to literally a Viking rap battle which we don't have to play out. We can have contested performance checks, but he is going to challenge you for the right to keep telling stories. And
Absolutely in on that. This feels like an Assassin's Creed Valhalla thing.
yeah.
Perfect. Performance check it is.
All right, so I need
Oh,
to still give this guy his name.
well, that's not going to go well.
Trying to finish setting up the token as as it.
Wait, I lost sound now completely. What happened there?
Oh, you with it?
Yeah, there we go. I'm back.
Yeah. So, what did you roll on the performance thing?
It was a 12.
All right. So he is going to roll as well, and as the two of you kind of as you've taken the stage, he will he rolled a 2 for a total of 8. So the this little bout of flighting between the two of them, uh, as he begins the beat on his drum, you absolutely wipe the floor with him to begin with, and uh, yeah, he is just you already had the crowd on your side, and as you go back and forth, you basically just embarrass him with skill, if nothing else. Like maybe not intentionally, but he is looking quite sheepish by the end of this, and happy to play some drums to back the rest of your tale.
Okay, awesome. It is. I have the home crowd advantage, of course.
Yeah, I mean
It's a little bit bad for him, but yeah, she'll sort of give him a drink and make friends with him later.
this is this would not be the first time the two of you have gone back and forth, and he has quite a competitive spirit when it comes to these things. But you know that the music works better together. So between the two of you, you will be able to provide some entertainment for the evening. Camilla, where are you headed off
Like walking over to the girls is like, what would you see who can hold them? Who be say let's say the root. If I breed first, then I lose. And even if one of you not lose, only if all breeds first.
to? You can give me a persuasion or a deception check to try and get him to accept this challenge. As he just like looks at you suspiciously, gives you a look up, and he'll sigh and he'll say, "Ah, what challenge is it to breathe? We all can do this. Leave that one for the summer when we can actually put you underwater. How about a drinking challenge instead? Which will test your capacity as well, I'm sure." And he will move his horn of mead just in front of you, like looking back at you, Camilla.
I'm gonna grab it and just start drinking.
He suddenly looks panicked and grabs the guy next to him, he grabs Orvar's drink and just starts downing it himself. And then everyone at the table starts realizing, and the guy with the drums just starts beating it rhythmically, and they all start just uh, banging on the table. The rest of you will see that Camilla has initiated a drinking challenge with the Jarl's son on the other side of the room. Are any of you going to do anything or try and join in?
Yes.
And here I actually has advantage. I do not need to take in air.
Yeah, absolutely. So you
I'm going.
make contested Constitution saves with advantage for you, Camilla. But yeah, Ursula, what do we say?
I'm going to join in, but not actually try to win. Instead, I'm going to use safe water to make the mead float around me and float into my mouth, just to look cool.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely do that. As you guys, are you staying at your table there, or are you joining them?
I think
Yeah, I'll
yes,
move there.
Svenja would want to move over if I elect her and just do Camilla, Camilla, chant, 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 and bardic inspiration just to add insult to injury for Jarl's son. This is not great for her relationship with Jarl, but hey.
Yeah, you will see as he's like thinking he'll both of you will finish your first horn of mead, and as everyone else comes around, they'll immediately be pulling out more booze to fill it. Oh, I haven't fixed the image there, Ulfield, sorry. But yeah, as you arrive, Ulfield, he kind of looks at you directly as he starts drinking the next horn, and anyone that is actually drinking now, as Ursula comes around and quite elegantly just starts shaping the mead into her mouth. You can give me another Constitution save, everyone that is taking part.
Does that include me?
Yeah, including you. Okay, yeah, Camilla, you're just running this like nobody's business, and Ursula, the the flair with which you do it does not at all affect your ability to actually hold this, and you you do it with ease, not even trying to take part. It's like you you see one of the twins at the table sort of notices you and gives a nod, like he looks impressed, but the attention is definitely more on Camilla and the Jarl son. Oldfield, uh, you I think also have advantage, don't you?
I rolled twice anyway, but also she's not really taking part. She's just drinking heavily and enjoying it. So
Yeah.
the dwarven nature, she's just getting drunk with them.
Yeah, you almost keeping up with them, just the nature of the size of the horn. But yeah, as they go back and forth trying to outpace each other, Carmilla, your technique of not breathing at all definitely um, serves you well, as he's quite quickly panting and slurring his words as you are declared the winner. And the people around the table kind of they all, they start making excuses for him, like they're just trying to hype him up, whereas the rest of your friends, I assume, are cheering for you, as there are some claps from the Jarl himself. They say, well, look, it's too early for this anyway. Challenge one of my boys here. Come on. I'm sure one of you can take her down. And you see them kind of looking at each other, like a little bit nervously, like they've heard stories about you.
Wait, who? Sorry.
Miller.
Oh, nice. gonna like Ulfil's gonna hype Camilla up and be like, these two puties like I can't do the accent. These are these two? No, it's not happening. These two puny wiggers barely even touch Camilla. Have you seen it? She's like hyping over. She's like, "You puny, you're weak, you're gonna get crushed." And then she's gonna like get Camilla's arm and like flex it for her just to hype her up. I just want to give him a little bit scared, get him a little scared of it.
You can give me an intimidation check. Um, as you see the three sitting at the the bottom side of the table, they will definitely like they look intimidated, but you see the the big guy sitting next to the Jarl's son just stand up and almost knock the Jarl off of his seat as he just shouts, "Who you calling puny?"
Puny, puny little man. She'll try and like even though she's a dwarf, she's gonna like try and make herself look big. You're tiny, like a little piece. Like no, hold on, I gotta think of words. Like a little ant on the back of my shoe. You little puny little weakling. It's really hard not to be Scottish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was,
It's like vicious mockery on steroids.
so you'll see he just gets up and he starts trying to make his way around like he's gonna start a fight, but the Jarl's son just lifts a hand and goes, Now, don't let her get to you. This little runt just doesn't know her place yet. She thinks she's all big news because she killed a troll." And he just looks at you quite demeaningly.
She grabs him by
Look,
the fucking shit, lifts him up to her face. What'd you say? Huh? Kind of. She's got a smile on her face, but she's definitely threatening him right now.
yeah, you you can feel he tries to like tug away, but you just have a firm grip on him, and he is just kind of looking at you nervously, and he goes, "Come on now, you don't want to do that in front of my father, do you?"
So like turn her head to her dad and be like, if your son keeps chatting so much shit, I will break his neck. Okay? And she does a little curtsy and like shoves him down, like throws him back on his seat.
You
And
see
like
the Jarl has a big smile on his face as you do this, and he goes, "That's good, Ulfhild. You are getting tall and strong like your mother, huh? You should show my son a thing or two. Maybe you can teach him some manners." And the boy looks up at the Jarl like completely confused. He's just like, "What? But father?"
Ulfil just gives a firm nod. Now, Camilla, oh fuck, it's hard accent, man. Camilla, I can't say Camilla with an Irish accent. Camilla with an Irish accent, uh, wants to have a drinking game. So therefore, one of you's gonna drink with her. Do it, and she'll give him all like threatening eyes.
All right, you can give me one more intimidation with advantage this time. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
With the 21, see, as you've kind of pushed him back, he's going to just shift over to the other side of the bench. And Orvar, who just looks like angrily like he was going to fight you a second ago, goes, "All right, fine." And he'll pick up a horn of mead and then turn to you, Camilla, as though to keep challenging you.
A bit bored, so I'm just grabbing two horns and just starting choking down.
All right, he will try to match you as you can give me another con save. All right, yeah. So at this point, he just grabs another horn as well, and he starts drinking just as fast as you. And you kind of notice out of the side of your eye that this big dude might actually be able to catch up. Um, he's a rather large lad. He looks like he has had his fair share of mead, and the competition is on. is anyone else doing anything as they just start going ham, the two of them? Camilla still doesn't seem to be falling drunk at all, but um, Orvar is keeping pace with her quite well.
I should grab something to eat for Shepherd.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put Shepherd.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess Svenja doesn't have a drum with her, and she's not going to be able to borrow the other guy's. So she'll just kind of borrow someone else's dagger, and with her dagger, and borrow dagger from someone else, just like tap this rhythm on the table, and sort of inspire Camilla with that. So you can roll a bardic inspiration if you need to. What is it at level 1?
Can't stack them. I already have one.
Oh shit! Oh, that's true. I did give you one, so you have to decide whether
D6
to
at
use
this
1d6.
point, right?
Yeah, 1d6.
Yeah, so you
I
can try
forgot
and
that
use
I
that
told
to
you.
be.
On the next roll, I think. Is it?
Yeah, that's
it's the
actually a
next
good
roll.
idea because even if I roll a 1, I beat him.
Yeah.
And look! Oh well, I meet him.
Same rolling the
So
one.
you tie. So you are both you have both consumed the same amount as you basically both drank 2 horns there at once. Um, so Svenja, are you going to try and give another inspiration there as they're about to
Yeah,
go
why
one more
not?
round to try to decide the victor?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, this time I'll actually.
Yeah, so by now the friends know that she's going to, wanting them to, with as much rhythm as she can muster out of their bodies, get them to stamp their feet or sort of slap their elbows or clap their hands or something like that. So see if she can get the other people to join in.
Okay, so Camilla, you should see the thing on the side there.
And let's see.
Ooh.
All right, and there we go. With that, uh, Camilla is the victor as he tries his level best, and you are starting to feel it a bit now. I think, unless you've got some immunity, I don't know about. But you manage to outdrink both of these guys, and he slumps down onto the bench and just like spills one of the drinks as he seems like he can't take anymore, and you are victorious.
Well, seems this on that drink. Taking the no, seems this so. Look down at them like
And at this point, the food is all basically ready, and people start grabbing food to come and eat. There is a large stew going in the middle of the room. Some uh, food is laid out across the tables, and the feast begins. Uh, yeah, there's a couple of you that may actually already be a little bit tipsy, but the the energy seems to stay about the same as now everyone goes back to their meals and starts speaking with each other. Um, you have successfully intimidated and made them drunk. I don't know what I'm looking for the word, but I can't find
Intoxicated and humiliated.
Yeah.
Absolutely wasted.
Inebriated.
Pissed.
Just call it dormant.
Jorman.
The Jarl
That's
will also stand and address the Longhouse as he says, "Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all having a good evening. It is, of course, that time of year again. We are no longer able to go raiding, and we must settle in for the winter. But I'm sure everyone is ready to make that these long seasons feel as short as we can. And my son has been planning an expedition to go and deal with some of the problems our town has been facing. I'm hoping that our young heroes over there, young Orfield the Troll Slayer, will lead you all to go and do something similar, yes? And perhaps when the winter is done, we will head out on our first raids together." And you hear some cheers coming from the Jarl's son's table
I will also cheer.
in his name.
I'm wondering, I think at this point, Svenja would raise sort of a mug or whatever, the mug, and say then a toast to the success of both expeditions, but completely genuinely, because small village, we do want everybody to succeed, even if we hate their guts. It's kind of a when we're in the house, we fight like dog and cat, but there's a common enemy stand to
Oh yeah,
sentiment.
and everyone at that will all raise their horns, and you'll hear a large squall coming from all different places, including that table. They seem fully with you there, despite the competition a minute ago. They are fully on board. Uh, you are definitely all in this together.
Now I have to work out how to type that little A thing. I got it.
get a Nordic keyboard.
I was going to say, of course, it's the two Danes that actually were able
Thanks,
to.
Nicole. That's useful.
Copy paste.
This is going to annoy me.
Nah, see, real gamers have a root fucking rune language set on the computer.
I got to figure that one out for this campaign.
Ah, girl, girl, met fluido. Right? Something like that.
What called the floor?
Been too long. That's the thing that's the phrase that they try and get all the foreigners to say when you go and work.
Yeah, quote unquote foreigners when they meet a Danish.
Oh,
Oh.
So as we are unfortunately going to be wrapping up tonight's session here, what would you guys like to plan for your actual expedition in the morning, as you now have a chance over this feast to really get things ready? I will point out that there are a bunch of things you can do in preparation other than just mapping it out, like trying to get potions or whatever supplies you might need, sharpen your weapons, all that kind of thing. Um, I will give you some proper options at the start of our next session, but for now, in terms of planning, what would you guys be discussing?
probably just equipment, like getting a explorer's backpack.
Yeah, I already have an explorer's backpack. I don't feel like there's really anything
Cool.
I need to do.
Well, maybe just some more for the rest of us.
Actually, yeah, pretty sure I did DM and ask you about this, but what sort of like ingots would be available to the smithy?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to get back to you on that. You would have a pretty basic array of just your standard irons and things. I'll have to double check the exactly what's in that crafting thing, but I think you can get cold steel, or whatever that's called, because your father has got a cold fire anvil, which is quite a useful thing for making turning ingots into um, sort of frost type weapons. You've basically just got regular regular steel. If you want anything exotic, you're going to have to go out and find it yourself.
Yeah, because then I could craft a weapon for anyone that's lacking. And, 'cause- although I suppose I'm guessing we all have good enough weapons.
I would like to, if possible, I would like to ask for a set of armor, but that might.
Of what's the armor? Chainmail, plate, half plate, breastplate, scale
Preferably
mail.
plates.
Okay, do we have 30 ingots on hand? Or would you have to get back to me?
No, you don't have enough to make a
Mm.
full set of plates
Oh
at the
yeah,
moment.
that's also gonna take 56 hours. Maybe not for this expedition, no.
So
Could
sad.
get him fairly easily to get regular ingots, but yeah, that he's asking for something pretty expensive.
Like,
So
if I
I
just
think Sven has some basic supplies, explorer's pack, maybe a horn of some sort. I don't. It's not in the inventory. And whatever healing let us have.
Yeah, you said we could get potions.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking one or two per person would be fantastic. You can tell us how much we can get between the group, as it were.
Yeah, I'll add them for next week, but you would definitely be able to get a healing potion each from the healer. I'm not. Has Gorm managed to rejoin it? No. So we'll say that Gorm's part in that is convincing his mother to give you each a healing potion. But I will add those, or you can add them to your character sheet actually, in D&D Beyond, because
Okay.
healing potions will be going up and down.
Okay. So is it automatically syncing with D&D Beyond? Or is it something you do every now and
Nope.
No, I'm saying you can add them on D&D Beyond, and then I'll sync it up before the next session. Other things you may want to look into is your knowledge of the area and things like that. So you've got that map, but the the land between where you're going and where you are is obviously this is quite a short distance. This expedition that you're planning, so you guys would have very good knowledge, which decreases the difficulty of this expedition. But there are other things that I would like someone to make a survival roll, that for whoever is going to be leading this and planning the expedition. If it is multiple of you, you can take the help action and give someone advantage. But I need to know who's going to be uh, planning this one out, like actually
I
leading
can
the
help, but I
navigation.
only have +1, so probably someone
I've
else
got
would make the check.
+4.
Got a
Five.
+5.
So you'll choose the actual roles that you'll take on the expedition at the beginning of next session, because there are someone might be the actual navigator while you're walking, but just in this planning phase to see who knows the route.
Yeah, I think was it Camilla and Ursula that had +5, +4 in survival?
You're the man.
I only have +1.
You're okay.
And if we are if it involved trekking.
Investigation check. The I guess Svenja will have a chat with her mother about what she might know or remember about the route or the places, but yeah, I don't think that she's particularly useful in that planning of the route right now. She'll have a chat with her mother about.
Okay, I can't hear what you're saying. It's speaking very softly.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I sit closer. Maybe this is the headset's not doing its thing. So Svenja will have a chat with her mother about things that she may know about the monsters. Any other rumors? So just kind of what else do we know about the monsters that are rumored to be there?
Okay, yeah, so that'll give whoever wants to make the survival check an advantage with the information you get from that. I'm not, my power's going to go off any minute now, so we're going to wrap things up here, and I'll give you that information at the start of the next session. But I just need someone to make that survival check to see if you will be prepared. Okay, yeah. Miller, you with a 22.
Hey,
Um,
he'll have the bardic inspiration. Just
okay.
that for
Okay, 24. Almost got to the 25. That is still more than enough because you have got knowledge of the area, and this is really, you've probably been out in that direction before. We will consider you guys prepared, and you will have advantage on any ability checks and saving throws to deal with the terrain on your expedition here, between here and the tree houses. And those stretches, as you are considered prepared. And yeah, I'm sorry, my power is going to go out any second now. So that is where we're going to wrap things up as you guys sit and plan for the journey ahead. And next week we will actually take you along on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, and
Yeah,
Thanks.
see everyone next week.
See you guys
and
next
I
week.
will be far more prepared next week, I promise.
All
With
good.
all the initial things for the camp, like making all the season.